guys? It's Riot Ralph and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing full screen. I usually don't do this. I just decided that I want to talk about something instead of like show gameplay. So what I want to talk about, obviously you already know because that's why you're here. That would be my guess, is the Nintendo Switch. I want to give you my thoughts and my personal opinion and thoughts on the console. So whatever I tell you, whatever I say, please just remember to take that with a grain of salt, because that's how I feel. You may not feel this way. In fact, um, even though we just got all this information today, I have not seen any negative videos on it. I know that there will be, and I know already a few people like Review Tech USA, for one, is going to completely feel, at least my guess is probably feel the same way I do, because Nintendo has been digging their own hole for a long time now, and I just feel that this kind of puts them even farther in that hole. So let's start with the name. Let's go ahead and start this, and we're going to start with the name. The name, the reason why the Wii U didn't sell very well last time is because of the name. Most parents and most people, when they looked at the Wii U, people who aren't gamers, who are buying this for their kids or whatever, most likely for their kids, they saw the Wii U in the stores and they're like, "Oh, what's the Wii U? It has the word Wii in it and then U." So to them, it sounded like it was an accessory for the Wii, and the Wii's been dead, and so they just didn't buy it, and that's one of the main reasons why that console was not getting purchased and did not have great sales, is because, for one, the name was absolutely horrible. For two, they did not advertise it, they didn't push it, they didn't really have any commercials for it. Their advertising was extremely poor, and the name, and when you put those two together, that's the sole reason for it being such a poor sold console as it is right now. So the Nintendo Switch, that doesn't have a ring to it like the Nintendo GameCube or the N64 or the 3DS XL. It just doesn't. It doesn't have a very good ring to it. The Nintendo Switch, again, it sounds like it's going to be something that's like an accessory for the Wii or the Wii U, and it just doesn't sound. I mean, I understand why the name makes sense to me in the fact of like what the console is, but again, they're trying to go for the full audience. They're not going for Nintendo has already said that we're not going after one demographic. We're going for like the full demographic of gamers, and the name is not going to help them do that whatsoever. The hardcore gamers aren't going to want this. Most adults don't want handheld systems. Um, we're going to get into that. I know it's not complete handheld, but we're going to get into that. But I'm just saying, most adults do not want a handheld system, right? I mean, kids are where handheld systems make sense, not so much adults. And there are hardcore fanboys out there who buy handheld systems from Sony and Nintendo who are adults. I get that. I totally get that. There's always exceptions, but I'm just saying the majority of adults do not want a handheld console. So, what is it? Well, it's basically like a hybrid of the Wii U controller. It's a tablet that you can play the games on the tablet, and it's also a console. But the console is actually the tablet itself. Unlike with the Wii U, you had the console and the tablet controller, and the console ran the games on the tablet, and so you had to be within range of the console because the console was still rendering the games. This is the console is basically built into the tablet itself, and in order to hook it up to your TV, you have a dock that's hooked up to your TV via HDMI, and you plug the tablet into the dock, and off you go. And this is what it looks like. This is the Nintendo Switch, and as you can see, it's a tablet with detachable controllers, so you can take the controllers off if you just wanted to watch a movie or Netflix or something on it, so it isn't so bulky. Or you could also there will probably be like, my guess is there'll be like mobile type games that you can play on the tablet with the touchscreen and stuff. I don't know if it's touchscreen. I haven't seen anything. I've read some stuff. I didn't see anything that specifically said it was, but it probably is. Um, but yeah, it's cool that you can take the controllers off the side. But the thing is, again, That isn't anything new. That's not innovating. We have tablets that we can buy controllers for that attach and slide onto it just like that, and we can take them on or off. And that already exists. Now, what a lot of people are saying is, oh, it's an innovation, it's so great. And a lot of reviewers are saying, oh, it's amazing, and they have taken a giant step forward and blah, blah, blah. And wrong. I totally disagree with that. And here's why. Like I said, there's thousands of tablets that you can buy. There's thousands of gaming tablets that you can buy. No, not thousands, but hundreds. You guys get the point. I'm exaggerating, so deal with it. So there's all sorts of tons of stuff like this that you can get, and everyone's like, "Yeah, but you can't dock it and play it on your TV." Yeah, you can. Have you guys ever heard of the Nvidia Shield? Well, the Nvidia Shield is a portable gaming system like this, although it doesn't have detachable controllers, but it's essentially a glorified tablet with controllers attached to the side that are non-removable, and you can hook it up to your TV via HDMI and hook a wireless controller up to it and play it that way. So you can play the same AAA games out of the house, outside of the house on this tablet, and then you can bring it home and you can continue playing them. That's what people are saying is innovation here, is that you can take the big AAA games, not crappy mobile games, like actual real games like Assassin's Creed or Skyrim or whatever the case may be, take it out with you, play those AAA games on the device, and then bring it home and continue that same game save on your TV. But again, that's not an innovation. It is not an innovation. I repeat, it is not an innovation. The NVIDIA Shield was the innovation for that. They were the first ones to do that. They, for some reason, did not get the praise and did not get the award for that innovation. I don't know why, but they didn't, and yet they were the first people to do it. This is just basically a mix of their Wii U controller and a console, and it's basically the same thing as an NVIDIA Shield. It's just made by Nintendo. I don't really see it being anything good. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's bad. But what I mean by when I say I don't see it being anything good is I don't see it as something that I just don't see it as something that's going to take Nintendo out of the hole that they've dug themselves in with the Wii U. It's not enough. It's not innovative. It's, you're doing something that something on the market can already do. The only thing is, instead of having to set it on the table, plug the other end of the HDMI cable into the device, and then hook a wireless controller up to it, you just dock it, turn on the TV, grab your controller. It's a little less involved, but not really. It's pretty much the same thing, and I just don't understand. Now, as far as the hardware goes, we're going to get into the hardware. Now, they haven't released all the specs, like they haven't said the type of memory or the hard drive space or how much space you can put on it with added SD cards, or if that's even capable or possible, which I'm sure it will be. But they haven't said any real detailed specs. What they have said here is that they have explained that they have told us the CPU and the GPU that it's going to be using. Now, NVIDIA, again, we're going back to NVIDIA and their Shield console. It's going to be using a similar setup, except it's a custom NVIDIA Tegra chip. It's not the Tegra one like in the Shield. It's actually a custom one that NVIDIA is designing solely for this system. Now, apparently, from what Nintendo says, is that they say that the GPU. Now, let me explain. The NVIDIA Tegra is a two-chip. It's like an APU. It's like an AMD APU. It's two chips in one. It has a CPU and a GPU. Basically, being like an APU in like in the consoles and stuff, except it's a mobile chip. It's designed to be put in phones and tablets and things like that. So it was kind of Nvidia's way of bringing high-powered games to the mobile world and allowing. It's basically what we're going to be having our phones in the future. We're going to have Nvidia Tegra chips in the future that will allow us to play, let's say, I don't know, Doom on our 7-inch tablet in full 60 FPS at full settings like you would on a console or a PC, and it'll be the same. It'll still be a mobile experience, but the graphics will be just as good. The graphic settings will be able to be on max. You're going to get flush FPS and all that good stuff. Um, so, except like again, Nintendo has had them make a custom NVIDIA Tegra chip. Now they haven't said how many cores. They haven't said how many. They haven't said how many CUDA cores for the GPU there is, and what the specs are on it. Like what's the megahertz, how fast it is, what it compares to. All they said is that the GPU in the Tegra 1 chip will be based off of the same GPU in the 10 series, like the 1060, the 1070, and the 1080, which is NVIDIA's newest lineup of GPUs. They said it will feature the same architecture as those GPUs. They didn't say it'll be as powerful as those or anything like that, and it won't. Um, Most likely, I don't see it being anywhere near as powerful as like a 1060 or 1070, but it'll have the same architecture, so it'll be able to support the same type of technology and run the same type of games that use that newer technology for their game engines and whatnot. Um, and that's all we know right now, guys. That's all we know. Unfortunately, I wish I knew more specs. I really do. I'd like to know how much memory it's going to have. Probably my guess would be um, my guess would probably be, I'm guessing like maybe 3 4 gigs of memory on the tablet device itself, and then in the dock, there's probably like, hopefully, I would imagine there's an extra like gig or 2 gigs of memory in the dock, so that you can use that for when you're home. The game will automatically adjust the draw distance of a game and make the draw distance longer because you have more memory now that you're docked. And then when you take it out of the dock, it'll turn down the draw distance. Hopefully it's a dynamic setting system so that all the graphic settings change depending on whether it's docked or not docked. That way you can still get a better experience when you dock it, and not have to rely on 3 or 4 gigs of memory. And that's just my take. Obviously, that's all opinions, and none of that is, that's just me hoping that's what it does. Um, Personally, I was really excited for the new NX. I was really, really, really excited for it, and I was really hoping that they were going to dig themselves out of that grave by releasing something that was going to be a standalone console that was going to have new online multiplayer. I was hoping that they were going to actually get real servers this time and have real online multiplayer where you could chat and talk with headsets and text and not have this stupid thing where you can only add a friend if you know the friend's name, and then you can add them, in real life, and then you can ask them their we or me name or whatever, and then their Nintendo account name, and then add them that way. There's no way to like add anyone other than that. I was hoping that they were going to go more multiplayer focused and online focused, because that's one thing that's really killing them is you can't voice chat. You don't have a friends list. I mean, you do have a friends list, but you can't. It's not like open social. It's like all closed off, and I get that because they're trying to protect the kids from predators and things like that, and that's great. I totally endorse that too. But if you're gonna do that, you gotta find a way to do it while still allowing the system to be open end online, so that I don't have to go to a forum to find some random person's name who wants friends who to play with them to add them. I should just be able to do it via the console, and there should be voice chat, and there should be text messages. Like, you should be able to send messages, and I think you can actually. I had a Wii U. I sold it after about a year. It's not because I didn't like the console. I love Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo. Nintendo was the first console I ever played when I was 2 years old. So I don't have anything against Nintendo. I love them, and I love what they do. But again, like I said, I don't remember. I didn't have any friends on the Wii U on the online aspect because I wasn't gonna dick around with trying to find any. So I just said whatever. Because really, when you get on the Wii U or the Wii, it's like it is not designed to be a social console at all. And I think that's one of the huge aspects they should have added here. I was hoping that it would have the social aspect opened up big time, voice communication, all that good stuff. Be able to add whoever you want when you're in a game with them. Just click on add, it'll add them, and if they accept. I was hoping that it would have hardware that'd be up to the capabilities of the new Xbox and the PS4, the new versions of them. Hopefully be like up to par with them or even